Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-zero degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fans? It's your boy Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. We apologize that we have been away. George took a East Coast adventure that we will get into. Ro, happy Mother's Day on air to you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that watch us and fathers that are mothers that take care of their kids just like a mother would. But thank you very much.
Fair enough. It's crazy. We're gonna get into a few things, but yeah, just happy to be in the studio with the two of you guys again.
I missed you guys.
Missed you
Same.
as well. I have been getting chastised for my apparel. I did not realize that we were back on air.
He has the Uncle Mervyn cookout 4s on.
Put them up.
They're my house shoes. I got my house shoes on, my Spider Killer 11s, as I call them.
Your Nat Swatters.
I was not prepared, but luckily I did have a Commander shirt on today, so I was like, all right, I guess.
I wasn't even going to say anything, but I mean...
That was the first thing you said.
I wasn't going to say anything on air. I was just like, wait, what's going on? Maybe you had bunion surgery. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
If anyone needs bunion surgery, it definitely is me. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Oh, God. I have great feet, but then I've got really bad bunions. It is what it is. It's genetic.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
My grandma, so all right. I didn't realize this is where the show was going to start at. But my grandma, she used to cut holes in her heels so her bunion
can breathe.
Okay, yeah. Like legit. All her
heels. It
is
genetic.
All of her heels, that's what she did. And so when she passed, that was actually something that we kept out, because that was something that she was known for. And it was like, oh, grandma's still here. But yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Anyway,
Okay.
let's talk about the NBA. First off, both of these two co-hosts that are a part of the show had some successes since we've been gone. So they will both get unfettered access to let their fanatic fan selves speak. So I'll let that ride. But we've got to start with Ja Morant. George, I meant to send you the clip that I posted yesterday. You could just go right off the page.
The league and the law want to start with Ja Morant as well.
Oh my goodness. If you haven't seen the video, George is looking it up right now. But Ja, I actually literally wanted to talk about Ja anyway, because Ro, did you realize that Ja lost $39 million this past week? Did you see that?
This past week?
Did you see that? You didn't see it.
I saw it on the show flow, but I didn't. I skimmed it, and I
Yes.
thought that it was based off of the games that he lost for the 9-game suspension.
Well, so Ja Morant, remember he signed his Supermax deal last year. I also think Zion Williamson lost out on this money as well. But Ja, he was going to be an All-NBA, whether it was third team, second team, first. He was going to be an All-NBA selection, being one of the highest, scorers, all that good stuff in the league. And the 8-game suspension that he had for his gun play in the strip club, he played 61 games. You have to play 65 games now to be included in, league awards and all that kind of stuff. He played 61. So he lost $39 million because it would have triggered, he would basically get more of a percentage of the salary cap if he would have been on one of those All-NBA teams. And since he wasn't, he lost $39 million. That was where I was going to start. Lord, he chose Mother's Day to do some craziness. George has the video. With little sound.
Oh, well, hold on, man. I didn't hear any sound.
No sound at all. No sound.
Hold on here.
It's all right. But Ja on live, or a friend of his was on live, and they're playing in the car, no problem. They're bumping their music, no harm, no foul. But the friend panned over to Ja. What I will give the friend credit for is the pan over and the comeback is so fast. You internet sleuths are amazing, because I still haven't seen the gun.
The fact that I did.
Really? Like,
Yeah.
in that quick pan, I
did.
truthfully never saw it.
I've seen it, that's all I've been seeing this morning.
Well, no. I know I saw it on the freeze frame. I'm talking about, like, literally when they showed the video, I was like,
I saw it.
wow, that's impressive that someone saw that, stopped it in that, like, because it was literally like a 10th of a second.
What are you doing? I'm not giving anybody any credit for anything. Like, what are you doing on Mother's Day?
It's just, it's.
And he's so, it's like he already did this shit, right? He already did it. He apologized. I remember when he was speaking with like Jalen Rose, he was talking about, how he's doing Reiki, which I love, by the way, and I swear by Reiki, and he went to, therapy and was talking it out. And you want to believe him. I don't think anybody believed him, but you're like, you gave him a pass because he's young, okay? And all of us have done I do dumb shit now. Not like that, though. But like...
Not when livelihoods are at stake.
No. And so he already got into the same type of trouble. He faced the same type of heat, okay? And then you do the same thing again. Now nobody's going to believe your apology. If they even thought you could have been like genuine the first time, now that's gone. They're not going to believe anything you say coming forward. And now you're risking, so I'm hearing anything from a 25 to 29 game suspension, potentially half a season. I'm going to tell you right now that the NBA is going to make an example out of him, and he is not going to play next season. That is my prediction.
I actually, before you, you're so good. One of our fans, actually, Jeff Granger, who played basketball at Hampton, a good friend of mine, shameless plug, shout out HU. He actually said that he thought he was going to be suspended for the year.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it's come to this, but he very well could lose his contract. I don't even know if it's suspension. I think it might start to turn into Gilbert Arenas territory.
John's not even from the hood.
And you know what? I meant to actually send you another video, George. There was a interview on Twitter where I don't know who was interviewing who, but it was basically this like Crip. He was like a gangster, and they showed clips of Ja, throwing up, gang signs.
Oh, was it
whatnot.
Kwame Brown?
No, it was like I forget the person's name, but. Basically, they, he was like really just putting him in his place. Like, man, don't do that, man. Like, you're not hood. This isn't who you are. You might smoke a little weed, but like, that doesn't make you a Crip. Like, don't do this. Don't put yourself in these positions.
I'm more hood than John Morant. Okay.
I do not disagree. George, what do you think in terms of suspension?
I think this is where the NBA, like you said, the NBA comes down hard, but. He's got like plausible denial there that, it wasn't thoroughly that clear. And, people are going really deep and in depth with this video. He's young. He's clearly not learning from his mistakes at all.
Yeah.
But he's young,
Yeah.
But that's why George.
So I think there is time, obviously, for him to like course correct here. It's funny when you say $39 million. I wonder if it hits him as hard as it like hits us in this room.
Good Lord.
Because money in the NBA at the NBA level is just it's like funny. It's monopoly money, dude. To be honest, because these new contracts are superseding anything we've ever seen before.
Well, George, if it goes from 39 million to $200 million because they rip up your contract over stupidity, was it worth it then? Did you get it then? You know what I mean? And that's the unfortunate part to me because, Gilbert Arenas was one of my favorite Wizards of all time, like great player. And he went from Messiah to the DMV to literally gone and in Orlando in like a 2-year stretch guns, over playing with guns and trying to be hood. Gilbert has talked about it on his mini podcast. He talked about it on the old podcast that we were a part of when I brought him on. But it's unfortunate, and that was honestly, if anybody should have talked to Ja Morant, if Ja Morant would have picked up the phone to anybody, it would have been talk to Gilbert Arenas.
I think AI needs to give him a good talking too.
AI as well. I mean, but in terms of like losing your livelihood.
No, but what I'm saying is if anybody literally didn't make those mistakes where you're surrounded by people constantly doing that, and he did not. AI did not. Okay, I will tell. So. It doesn't. I mean, he can argue the video. The reason the NBA will not let it go is three things. I hate it when people are like, "Oh, he came into this league very young, and this, that, the third." So did Kobe. So did LeBron.
So did Kevin Garnett.
So did Kevin. Like
Tracy. There's plenty
so
of guys.
Many.
Yeah.
And so that's why I believe that the NBA not only can and will, but should, because stop playing. I mean, these men are out here to win championships, and you're over here doing this nonsense, and you've been in the league long enough, and you've already been in trouble for this. So you're doing it again, and that's basically like a go scratch to the NBA. The NBA is going to come down hard, and I think that next season he should not play.
Well, as I mentioned before, both George and Miss Rosine had great weeks. The Celtics winning in Game 7, being down 3-2, and literally on the mat. I was telling George before we got on air that I was watching the game. I watched that entire game. The Sixers had the game by the bootstraps. I was like, oh, okay, this should be fine. This should be chalk the rest of the way. I think I don't remember who.
Starting third quarter, it was just.
Yeah, well, no. This is the fourth. They were in the fourth, and they still were.
I felt like they were struggling. I felt like they were playing catch up the entire third quarter.
They were struggling, but like Embiid was playing pretty well. Maxey was doing his thing.
How many points did Embiid get? How many points did Harden get?
In Game 6. I'm talking Game 6.
Oh, Game 6. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about last night.
No.
I thought you were talking about yesterday. I'm like, what?
No. I'm still talking about Game 6.
Oh, yeah.
They had the game by the bootstraps in the fourth quarter. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do some housework. I came back to my phone, and my phone had exploded, and I went and looked back on my phone, started watching the game again, and Jason Tatum was interviewing. So, George, this is your 3 minutes of fame.
All right.
To talk about your Boston Celtics. I'm going to put you on the clock. Okay. We got the clock. So, ready, set, go.
So, what I immediately thought was, what would Kobe do? I thought back to Jason Tatum at Duke, working out with Kobe Bryant before, he got drafted. Lakers passed up on him. You know what I mean? Neither here nor there.
Sixers passed up on him.
Comes to the Celtics and proves all the doubters wrong, right? And I saw your post, I think, or it was another show last week talking about, like, man, is Tatum really, like, washed? Like, can he not perform in the big-time games?
That was my post.
And I was like, what would Kobe do? WWKD, all right? Kobe keeps on shooting no matter what. I watched that man my entire childhood launch it, even if he's on a fucking 15 mystery, like, it did not matter. And I knew he could channel that. There's very few, okay? They got the chance to absorb the Mamba, all right?
Firsthand.
And I cannot believe that I get to bear witness to this stud. Okay?
George, you still got a minute 45.
Oh,
man.
I know.
You're good. You got. I know. Give me some.
Let me hit you with this. Okay. He has the confidence to hit multiple threes in the fourth quarter in Game 6 to lead the Celtics back in an iconic fashion, silencing the 76ers crowd. I chose not to go. Okay, it would have been way out of my range and realm, but I was cheering so hard from this pub in New York City.
They could hear you. Hear you in Philly.
They felt me. So we stormed back. The thing I'm most impressed with, though, is the defense that this team has. When they decide to turn it on defensively, they're so long.
No,
and there was a turnaround.
You're going to get your second. Robert Williams, He was young when we played the Heat the first time in the bubble, and now he is like
How come
a veteran.
he got to talk?
Man.
How come
He's
he got to fucking talk?
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We got
reclaiming
40
my time.
seconds. You got 40 seconds.
Reclaim my time. Robert Williams is such a stud. He shut Embiid down. The one thing I will say, though, about Boston is that we will always own Philadelphia. And Philadelphia needs to bow down. Okay, once again.
20 seconds.
Joel Embiid, boy, is Charles Barkley and Shaq going to have a heyday with your ass for your entire career, my friend. Your entire career. Way not to show up in the biggest moments. By the way, Russell Westbrook, better than James Harden, but they're both the reason why OKC didn't succeed. I'm done.
And that is your time.
And I will say, I apologize, Ro, for cutting you off. But Robert Williams, I'm fired up about Robert Williams.
But how come he got to talk and I didn't?
Okay.
How come you didn't shut him up?
I just need to know. I was in such a rhythm. What did you even interject with?
Nothing. I don't. I was affirming a point you made about defense. I was actually agreeing with you.
Yes. With the length. What did you interject with? I completely.
It was the defense.
I was in a state of Hulkamania.
Now,
I'm sorry.
You were mid promo.
I really am sorry.
Well. Now it is the front row's turn to give her 3 minutes of uninterrupted access to being a Lakers fan. Remember, this was uninterrupted, so I wasn't trying to interject anything. I was just trying to continue. I was letting them know his time was moving on. That was really it. So, Ro, you have 3 minutes. Ready, set, go.
I don't even need 3 minutes because as Lakers fans, in my lifetime, I've seen this plenty of times. So I will say that last time we were here, I said this was the legacy series of the playoffs. We beat Steph, Clay, we beat the Splash Brothers, we beat that whole fucking team, okay? And I was scared to go up against them. And we beat them. So say what you, and like I said, everybody that has anything to say about LeBron can go sit down now. But as far as 3 minutes, I don't even need 3 minutes because I don't need to act like we've been here because we've been here. So I can see why George went on a fucking ramble because
it's been a decade. It's been a decade.
I'm hungry.
Wow, that's almost been 20 years.
Well,
but we have encroached on Rose's time. Go ahead, continue.
No, I'm done.
You're all done with 2 minutes.
Yep, I'm done. I don't need any more time.
You've put your what did they say in Congress where it's like I yield my time?
I'm done.
You're yielding your time. All right. Well, I'll say this about both of your teams. First, the Sixers, they gave it away. They simply gave it away. They had that game. They had that series. They were in front of their fans. And as George said, the defense got tightened and they started hitting threes. For Roe, we talked about, as far as the legacy portion and you saw that I've had some conversations on the page as far as legacies and all that stuff. The question kind of came up was, does Steph slide now? Is this kind of something that happens for Steph now that they lost to the Lakers? And I'll ask you, Ro, my response to that was, no, Steph kind of stays where he was. This, I feel like, would have harmed LeBron more if they would have lost to the Warriors because LeBron would have been 1-4 versus one team.
LeBron needed this. He's never played in a playoff series against this team as a Laker.
Yes.
And nobody's legacy comes into question more than LeBron's, even though, if this man retired today, I don't think he would have anything to prove. A lot of people disagree with that. They feel like he still has a lot to prove. LeBron needed this. Didn't I say LeBron knows that this is so tantamount for his career and his legacy?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think it actually takes anything away from Steph at all because he's just that dude. This would have, if the Lakers would have lost this, it wouldn't have been on the team's shoulders. It would have been on LeBron's shoulders. He would have had to deal with it because this was big for him.
Yeah.
And he beat the champs.
1,000%. I think it would have been undeniable, truthfully. But let's talk about. We'll go ahead and get into the next series. We're now in the conference championships in the NBA, so we can start first with the Nuggets Lakers series, since we're still in Ms. Rowe's time. So Ms. Rowe, what are the keys to victory for your Los Angeles Lakers?
3 main ones for me. You got to attack the paint. You've got to stay within. You've got to stay within 6 feet of the basket at all times. Just keep going, shooting. It's volume. Let's stay away from highlight reels. Just attack the paint. 1, 2. Darvin Ham has been doing a phenomenal job with his rotation. When he switched out Vanderbilt and put Schroeder in, that was the difference maker a couple of times. Darvin Ham, keep gauging it the same way.
Lonnie Walker, too.
And Lonnie motherfucking Walker. Wow, right?
Yeah, IV is really what changed that series, in my opinion. Because obviously
I don't disagree with that 1,000%.
Obviously, he won Game 5 for them. You know what I mean? But that was where kind of he found his way back into the
momentum changed. The trajectory and the momentum changed. But the beautiful part in staying on this particular point is, if you think about it, you would automatically say, well, LeBron needs to kind of shoulder most of it. The fact that you have Austin Reeves, you have Hachimura, you have Lonnie Walker, you have Vanderbilt, AD, and LeBron all doing their job, and when they're put in, doing exactly what they need to do. Now, I will tell you, the fact that Schroeder was ejected in Game 6 because Draymond Walker put the ball in his face, I don't see that this is a part of the officiating is going to make any sport illegitimate if this continues to happen. He shouldn't have been ejected, okay? But I will tell you, it still happens.
Why do you... So, okay, I guess the only thing to the other side of that at all is it was a double tech, and he had already had one. So Draymond got his tech.
He shouldn't have gotten a tech for it.
Well, we don't know what he said. That was what happened.
It doesn't matter. If I put the ball in your face like that, but this is Draymond fucking Green, this fucking jerk off. This is what he does. I'm so tired of you making excuses for him too, because everybody's like, yeah, he's a dick, but I'd want him to play for me. Okay, fine. Everything he does, it's not okay. So no, I don't think he should have gotten that second technical, okay? But we won the series, so it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. In that game, it didn't matter either.
And point 3, the third major key to them beating Denver, is they have to keep playing defense hard, and it can't just be AD. I got AD taking care of Jokic, but we've got the rest of the team to worry about as well. So it is... attack the paint. D-Ham, keep gauging the rotation like you have been and utilize players for exactly what they're good for when they're good for it. And 3, everybody's job is to be on defense. So those are the 3 keys to victory for me.
For me, I guess I'll take the Nuggets just because, yeah. But I think the main key for the Nuggets will be who's guarding LeBron. Because, when you look at the Warriors, yes, Andrew Wiggins may have had a struggled series, I would say, up and down series. The biggest thing I can say was he did at least contain LeBron as much as he could. Like, LeBron never, if you really look at that whole series, I don't think LeBron had a game over 30.
Can we talk about that? I posted this on my IG, and I believe both of you saw it, when Bron literally ran over Steph. It was so beautiful.
That's not beautiful.
It was a thing of beauty.
How is that beautiful and the man is my size? That's not beautiful. That's child abuse.
You are such a hater, Josh. Ooh,
I do like it that it's like a left tackle just cleaning up a corner.
Yeah,
that is exactly
what about that is a fair fight?
That's like when Eli Apple gets scorched all the time.
Well, okay, wait. Now here, I'll go ahead and I'll put it right back in check. So if Steph would have clipped his legs as a smaller person could do, he would be a jerk off, right? That wouldn't be that's not right. You're not supposed to do that.
No, Steph's not a weakling. He's not known for his physical, like his strength is like he's not a dominating physical player.
No,
he's the best shooter that God's ever created. Okay, but he's no pushover. He ain't no punk. LeBron cleaned him up, didn't even get the foul, and got it on him. It was for me. I literally jerked off to it. It was so good. Oh my
goodness! No, okay, nice. so all right. So I actually, in the Madden League, we were talking about Anthony Davis, and I used the analogy that AD cries more than Steph. And I'm like, and he's the light-skinned dude. Wait, like, why are you like, how do you cry this much?
Did you see Charles Barkley and Shaq? Like, they couldn't stop laughing about AD funny. Being in that wheelchair.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I'm crying watching them laugh. It was really funny.
Anyway. I wish not to talk about.
But did you see it?
Of course, yeah. No.
Did you laugh?
It's hilarious. Like
Ernie, guys, come on, please.
Well, I don't look.
Guys, come on.
See, but I don't want to keep laughing at him because every time I laugh at him, then he'll have a big game. So I'm like, look, either be hurt or stop crying. You're too big and too strong to every.
I worry about him because every time I see him come up with those Easter Bunny pink shoes, I'm always worried something's gonna break.
Oh my goodness!
I miss back when he was playing with New Orleans. Like the unibrow was a little more scraggly. You know, this new Los Angeles unibrow.
Try to be cool and smooth.
This is the LA unibrow. Like, it's a seagull.
Bro, you're ugly, dog. You're not supposed. Like, look. Listen,
you be nice.
That nigga ugly. Listen, okay, all right. You can do whatever you gotta do to gloss it up.
What'd you say to me in text about KD?
I don't remember.
Say it.
I don't remember.
I can't say it, so you gotta say it.
I don't remember. What did I say? Shoot. Oh, KD. That nigga ashy. Listen. KD is ashier than Ashy Larry on Dave Chappelle's show.
Not Ashy Larry.
Oh, that's
how
ashy he is.
Playoffs.
But yes, anyway, I was not meaning
You digress.
I digress. I was not meaning to do that. But the Nuggets, yes. Who's going to guard LeBron? One thing I will say for the Nuggets that the Nuggets definitely have going for them over the Warriors is they aren't going to just pull threes the whole game. They have an inside presence to their game. It's going to be a different series for the Lakers. The thing that the Nuggets do not have for them is they do not have championship pedigree. And when we talk about the next matchup, both of those teams have championship pedigree. The Lakers, even they obviously don't have a full-fledged team of champions, but they have a few, namely LeBron, but now AD has won, so he gets it. And so there is something to be said about taking champions out, and it is not easy. So I'm interested to see kind of as far as the Nuggets go, really who matches up with LeBron, because AD is going to be AD. He's going to have games where he looks like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to have games where it's like, this fool's making Supermax. Like he depends. But who's guarding LeBron and then also what Murray does. I'm excited to see that.
Georgie, what do you think is the main key for each team for success?
Attacking the paint for me in both series is going to be imperative.
Yes.
And I'm a little worried when you say AD is going to guard Jokic. I think it's going to be a different Jokic style. I think it'll be more Murray bringing it up, feeding Jokic in the paint and letting them kind of attract the double teams from the short corner. But I'm thinking that in order to really get the momentum flowing, whoever gets to like 50 first, I feel is going to win a lot of these games. And pacing is a huge thing. The Nuggets have these it's like a roller coaster, right? Where it's like sometimes they can really pull back the reins, but then sometimes they move faster than any team I've watched this year in the NBA. And that's what I think the Lakers will have to keep up with. I think the Warriors presented a little bit of that speed that they're going to see, but the Nuggets are the refined version and with a little bit more of the weapons. Like KCP, stud, right? He's going to always have wide open threes. That's a dangerous person to be leaving alone.
Former Laker.
Yeah.
And he's got something to prove back to them.
That's fair. I forgot he's even on that team.
Yeah.
Dude.
Former Wizard.
Yep. Oh man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pacing and attack in the paint for the Nuggets. Now, if the Lakers are going to win this series, it's got to be one of the studs on the young crew to stand out.
Okay.
It can't be scattered the way it has been. It's like either Reeves is our guy, either Hachimura is going to be that third guy. Is it Lonnie Walker? You guys have so many options that I think it presents like, oh my God, there's too much happening, right?
But that's why I said that rotation is so imperative. That's my second key. That's why it's so imperative for Darvin Ham to keep gauging it he has been.
That game, yeah. Well, because George, to your point, if it's a third guy, they've been finding a third guy throughout whoever it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to Rose's point, like if this guy's hot today, it's your day to be the third guy.
It's almost like a hockey team, dude. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
You guys have waves of studs. Now, I'm worried about Denver's bench, but I think at this moment in time, it's like ride them till the wheels fall off. You know what I mean?
Talking about the Lakers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next up, we've got the Celtics and the Heat.
Wait, really quick. So let's answer this. Is the city of Philadelphia on suicide watch?
Oh, Philly's had a rough 23. I'm not gonna lie. They lose the Super Bowl, and I mean everything to play for in the playoffs to get to the finals.
But I want to touch on a couple of things. Like I can't believe Embiid's 0-3 in the in the conference semifinals. Like that's just
heartbreaking fashion too.
Like 0-3.
So one of our followers actually asked me yesterday on Twitter, like, "Hey, was this the worst Game 7 of an MVP ever with Embiid, with Embiid's game?" And I was like, "No, Dirk, 2007. Dirk had 10 points, 8 rebounds in the first round loss to the Warriors to an 8 seed as the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. So we've seen it. I think Embiid, because, Dirk had gone to the finals the year before, so he had at least seen the summit. He hadn't gotten there yet, but he had seen it.
No, Embiid's never been to the Eastern Conference Finals, period. Did you see Harden? Like, he was like, the ball, like, he bounced it off his leg. Yeah. He was making these, like, crazy panic shots. Yeah. I was at a Mother's Day brunch, so I didn't want anybody to tell me. No, I don't want anybody to tell me anything about the game. Oh. So when I went home, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like an
right?
all-time. It was an all-time. They panned to Doc Rivers too little. They should have had a camera permanently on that man, because every time James Harden threw it out of bounds, you'd be like, "The fuck is he doing?
What is he doing?"
Like, it was awesome. It was my favorite thing to watch in the entire game.
Listen, I mean, I'm a Lakers fan. I don't, that we don't. I mean, we have acrimony against Boston, but I've got to tell you, if the Sixers were my team and they lost in that manner yesterday, I said, no, you don't fucking deserve to win.
Yeah.
No, it was sloppy. So I know we're going to get into coaches later, but
yes,
it's going to be interesting with Doc.
Thank you. I did not put that down.
No, Doc was so triggered. He pulled somebody out of the game. He pulled PJ Tucker out of the game. I think this was in the third quarter when they were down by like 20, right? PJ Tucker had a chance for like a wide open corner 3, and he passed the ball back to, I think, Embiid cutting or something. Completely ruined the flow of the play. PJ Tucker then, like 20 seconds later, Doc was like, "Get the fuck out, bro." Like, bro, we're down 20. You're not pulling open corner 3s. Get the fuck out.
That's not what we need right now. All right, so Celtics Heat. What are the matchups? What are the keys for this series? I'll start. I think, this one's tough because similar. Both these teams have been to the finals. With the Celtics going last year, with the Heat going during the bubble, they both have championship metal. I think for me, outside of Jimmy, because I know what Jimmy's gonna do, I think the series for me really is on Bam Adebayo. And what he showed when he went to the finals versus the Lakers is Bam disappeared. And if it becomes the curious case of the missing Bam Adebayo, the Celtics are gonna win. I think the Heat are playing with an energy right now and a disrespect level of we're not really an 8 seed. They're going to be well coached. I think the coaching is also going to come into effect as well at some point with crazy Joe Mazzulla. So we'll
May I
see.
jump in?
Of course, go ahead.
I think the Celtics. I think it's going to be no Vaseline with the Heat. I think that they are going to kill them with one key. Talked about defense. The games that the Celtics lost against the Sixers, I squarely planted on the lack of defense because they like game 1, Harden had 45 points. There was, but that was a blessing wrapped in a curse for them because they were like, oh fuck, okay, we completely didn't see this. So as long as that defense is consistent, I can't see. I'm taking the Celtics in 5.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Celtics in 5, Celtics in 4, something like that. We're gonna feed the
Wait.
Okay, here's my biggest key. My biggest key to winning. Is if we get Robert Williams 4 points early, it changes the way teams guard us, completely.
Okay.
And I witnessed it in Game 7 a couple of times, where they're running some drop screen coverages. They decide to double Tatum because he's scorching them, right? And then we start feeding Williams down low. Then they start fading back, and then Tatum just kept going, right? I think if it's not Robert Williams, I think this is a series where you see a lot of back cuts. You see Jaylen Brown turn into a slasher. I don't think, every time that we've played the Heat, he's gone away from his jump shooting self, and he's really attacked the rim hard. I don't see any way, after watching the Heat play the Knicks and losing to the Knicks in Game 5 at MSG, there's no way that they can keep up.
And the Celtics ain't the Knicks.
Yes. Yeah.
No.
If you're going to let Jalen Brunson do that to you, bro, come on. Jimmy didn't turn it on either. I think he's hurt.
Ankle. Remember the ankle. He's still favoring the ankle a little bit.
So we'll see if the rest helps him. But hey, it's the Miami Butlers, and we know it.
Yeah.
Right. So if we're gonna lose any games in the series, he's gonna drop 45. And here's the thing. It's not that we don't play great defense on those nights where Harden drops 45. Some teams just be hitting. Right?
No. I will say, okay, yes and no. I will tell you that when Harden was running towards the basket, when he did attack the paint, nobody wanted to cover him, okay? Because he's a physical player. And, there's a point where you're like, do I potentially get injured? Am I going to knock the fuck out? Because he's a big boy, right? Sure. But he's Ruben-esque. So he's Zoftig. So I don't listen. I can't. And the Knicks, you get the Knicks to a point where I don't care who's playing for them. I don't care if you've got Barrett. I don't care if you've Brunson. I don't care. They should have gotten Donovan Mitchell because that would have been a different story. But once the Knicks get shaken, they're cooked. They are cooked. They can't win 2 games in a row. They against good teams. So I will tell you, the Heat they're a good team. I'm not a Knicks fan, so I was like goodbye. But the Celtics are gonna run circles around them, and I'm gonna tell you something. I would motherfucking love to see a Lakers-Celtics finals. You talk about iconic rivalries.
The NBA wants it too. The NBA wants it too.
Oh, look at just because your team's not in it.
My team's trash, girl. Don't do that. My team's always not in it.
But but listen, maybe it's because Winning Time is on HBO. It's all amped up now.
When is it coming back?
I don't know.
Jesus, I keep looking for it.
No, but honestly, I'm salivating. I'm worried about Denver. I think we are going to beat them. But I'm salivating at the thought of a Lakers-Celtics finals because how great would that be if it goes to a Game 7?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, we'd get home court, so that'd be iconic. That'd be nice.
And we'd beat you.
We definitely need to have a little friendly wager or something. I'm willing to put my beard on the line.
Lakers
Celtics.
Oh my God, that's actually
I'll cut my hair.
No.
How
Damn
about
it. I don't like
you
Like a
do
that.
bob.
braids?
I don't
How
like
about you?
those.
Can you do New York braids?
Oh,
Like box braids?
yeah, that
like-
actually is good.
Yeah. Like
I'm gonna be accused of cultural appropriation
No,
by these
no.
jerk offs that like troll
No,
me.
I'll make sure to say something.
no.
I'll say something.
We'll say it's for a bet.
That's
Like,
it,
I mean,
yeah.
like, hey.
But I like that. I mean, I'd like to rock braids.
Oh,
I don't know,
there it is.
That's
I like
not.
that.
But that's not a.
Okay.
But that's not anything like adverse for me.
No,
So,
no.
like-
It's still
Hey,
it's a
you
statement.
You think this sexy face is adverse for me? Too?
All right, so fine. And you know what? And I will do a whole show in the Celtics jersey.
There we go. That's a bet.
Fair enough.
That's a bet. Yes. I stamped.
Hey,
There
It has to
is.
be either a Larry Bird jersey or
He's getting up to shake the hands. The handshake is happening. Yeah, you got to stand on that. All right.
It's a bet, my brother.
All right. I like it. That was good.
But
Done that on air too.
It has to either be a Larry Bird jersey or a Kevin McHale jersey.
Whichever you want. That's
right.
fine. All right. So before we get off of the NBA, there were a few coaches that were fired over the last few weeks that we haven't had a chance to talk about. First, Nick Nurse got fired in Toronto. We'll jump into that a little bit. And then Mike Budenholzer gets fired shortly after winning a title in Milwaukee. Monty Williams this past weekend after losing to the Nuggets gets fired. We'll talk about that. And then also, let's kind of quickly just say
Doc Rivers?
Yes, because you had asked about this.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers. We can start on that quickly, and then we'll go to the others. Does Doc Rivers get fired, or does he step down as the coach of the Sixers?
I think they're going to let him go, you guys. I really do. Because think of if I were the league in general, and let's say I was a team that got rid of our coach, okay? Now you are adding, because who says Doc Rivers even wants to stay?
He did. He did come out. He did come out and say he was looking to come back.
Oh, he didn't want that?
Right after
Okay.
the game.
I will
Yeah.
tell you though, Embiid was MVP, even though he shat the bed, okay? You had James Harden, who looked in a couple games like Sun Devils, OKC, vintage Harden, okay? You've had weapons to work with. You've had the strength, and you've had all the resources you need. For Christ's sake, you had the MVP of the league, okay? I don't know what more you need. Now, I'm going to use the Lakers as an example. I never thought that it was going to be Kyle from Road Trip and a player named Hachimura that are helping us get the chip. You have icons on your, and I don't use that word loosely. You have icons and legends of the game on your team. And I have nothing but respect for Doc. But given everything that he has had to work with,
It's not James' fault.
no, it's not it's chemistry. I'm telling you, it all comes down to chemistry. He has a capability.
Yeah.
He can do, I don't know. I think it's time for fresh blood. And I'm going to tell you who the best non-coaching coach is right now, and it's Vogel. Whoever gets Vogel is lucky. And so if the Sixers are going to get rid of Doc, you bring in Vogel.
Well, I'll tell you one thing as far as the Suns are concerned. The Suns are actually being said to aggressively approach Tyronn Lue, who is currently still under contract with the Clippers. So Monty Williams getting fired, I think, was I won't say the most egregious, because all three of those firings was like, what? You know what I mean? As Ro lets me know, my team is trash. We can't find a coach. And yet, teams that have good coaches are just letting them walk out the door.
Georgie,
it's like, what are you doing?
What do you think's going to happen with Doc?
I think this might be the end of the road for him. Is it not? I think it's time to hang it up. I think he has the potential to have a great broadcasting career. I mean, like you said, can you imagine?
I don't know. I would not wish to hear for that for 40 minutes.
Shaq down here was able
Hey,
to do it.
Shaq is funny at least. Doc is like,
Doc gives me anxiety because I feel like my uncle's coming in to yell at me.
I will say one thing though. Doc, since he's been out of LA, his voice sounds better. It's sounding closer to when he was on TV. Because remember, Doc was a commentator, and he is sounding a little bit better. He's not as Blake. It's not Blake's fault. He's not as bad as that. But he is. I mean, look. I think Joel loves him. I don't think Harden loves him. I will
Harden
say
doesn't
that.
love anybody. Now he's talking about going back to OKC now.
Well, but the one thing I will say is though, Harden has at least like fallen in line, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
After the antics that he pulled in Brooklyn, he had no choice.
No choice. That's true. He was on his last hope. But I don't think he gets fired. I don't think he steps down. I think he does one more year. They see what it is, and then next year, I think they do have to figure something out. I mean, Joel was saying after the game that it just can't be him and James, and really, it should have been him, maybe James and Jimmy Butler, but they chose to keep Tobias Harris instead.
And that's gonna haunt them.
Tobias Harris, Jason Tatum. Who else there? Because remember they had Ben Simmons.
So I was gonna make that point about Ben Simmons with Doc. It's like you now you think and you're like, okay, is it Doc or is it the players?
Yeah. It's I think it's a multitude, because he has gotten the most out of Joel Embiid for sure, getting him all the way to an MVP. All of those things. That all goes into account, but we'll see. Before we get out of NBA, we can talk about what's next briefly, because I know we still was trying to talk a little bit about hockey today. So first up, we can talk about the Warriors. What's next for the Warriors? Draymond Green has a player option this year. I believe Clay is a free agent as well. What do you think?
I think they're going to try and run it back. I think they're gonna listen.
Oh, sorry, and also the GM, his contract is up, and so they're trying to figure out if he wants to come back. He's asked to take some time to make a decision. Sorry, go ahead.
Something's gonna have to change to get the electricity back. You have the talent, and I feel like the consensus is ultimately going to be no. We have a good thing. We know the mistakes that we've made, because I mean. It's these bit players that have had great moments but haven't been consistent that, in my opinion, cost them the series against the Lakers. You can't have Jordan Poole go bananas one night and do dick the rest of the series. You can't have Andrew Wiggins make panic shots 2 games
habitually.
It can't but then go bonkers for 10 minutes, in game 3. So these bit players. There has to be something that's changing with that. Now the core, I mean, listen, I think the GM wouldn't right now. Listen, you just lost. You knew this is the legacy series. You want to collect your thoughts, and you want to know if you have the energy, if you still have it in you to make another run at it. What do you think, Georgie?
I think they need to get rid of Jordan Poole. They run it back if Jordan Poole leaves. I've just been witnessing. I don't know thoroughly what's going on with why they don't jive together, but I know Draymond and him don't really get along. What is the drama with that?
I will tell you, it's the same dynamic as Kyle Kuzma had with the Lakers when he was with the Lakers with LeBron. LeBron didn't respect his non-work ethic. You can say what you want. LeBron's, he's shooting in the gym. He's first to come and last to leave. Kyle Kuzma would half-ass it basically, and yeah, I don't like Draymond, but Draymond takes this shit seriously. And this is and Jordan Poole is over here see Shorty over there, he's talking about girls and he's looking at girls on the internet during the game. My guy. That's why Draymond don't like him.
Well, to both your point, I mean, look, Jordan Poole, 4 years, $128 million. You're not being paid. You're not being paid to be on the bench or not be an impactful player on this team. For them to go anywhere, if they do decide to run it back, they have to really players have to play within their roles more. Jordan Poole's role is to be, kind of Steph and Clay-ish, but you have to do that within the confines of the team. So for me, that's if they choose to run it back, that would, like you said, they got to figure that out.
Was it they got into a fight?
Yeah, in the preseason. In the preseason. And
that's
again,
right. I forgot about that fight.
And remember,
fucking
he punched him.
Yeah.
And remember, that was absolutely
I forgot about that.
That was absolutely nothing. I was literally talking to my parents about this. Shout out to my mom. Happy birthday, Mom. But I was talking to her, and we had a dinner over the weekend, and we were talking about the Warriors, and that is such a nothing fight. I think we talked about it way back when. Really, the biggest question out of all of that, which I saw when it first happened, was who from the Warriors leaked that footage?
Facts.
Because that was the real key, because remember, that was a way to kind of play a narrative on Draymond Green and all that kind of stuff. For that footage to leak out of their server was nonsense. So it wasn't the fight. That wasn't it. That was a fight. Fights happen in locker rooms, on planes. I've told you about planes. My brother was a part of a fight in the plane. Fights in the locker room all the time. Like that was nothing.
Like naked fights.
Yeah. I told you Hollywood Robinson, right? I told you that story?
No.
Oh yeah, butt naked fights. Funny. Hollywood, put some clothes on. So funny. I will not put the whole story out there, but there's stories. What's gonna happen with the Clippers? Anybody? What do the Clippers need to do?
I think the Clippers need to have a serious sit down, like with Kawhi and Paul George, and just be like, truthfully, like, how much are you willing to give us going forward? Like, I mean, it's like written into their contracts. I know that they don't have to play the full season, you know, like there's definitely some things that need to be refined in the sense of like, when you create a winning culture, it's winning in the regular season, dominating in the postseason, then coming back the next year and just recycling it, right? It can't be this, we're fine going 50, 60%, making it there. Like, no, like Steve Ballmer definitely, I feel, feels the way we feel. But then Ty Lue is such a player's coach. You know what I mean? And I think he's the one that's like, you know, in Steve's ear, like, hey, no, Steve. They need a little, they need the rest, Steve. And Steve's like, no, motherfucker. Like, I want them to play nightly.
Yeah.
So I think there's a huge conflict going on right now between an owner who wants nothing but success and then
players that may or may not be their main objective.
They just want to live in Los Angeles.
That's fair. Go ahead, Ro. What do you think? What are the next for the Clippers?
I think it's almost going to be the same conversations that the Knicks are having with Julius Randle.
We're going to talk about the Knicks too before we get out of here.
But I agree. I saw a passion with the Clippers in the regular season that I did not see in the postseason. I feel like a lot of times, like you'd watch them the first round and they'd give up midway through. Like they've already made up their mind. There is no hustle. There is no chasing the ball. There's no like. There's nobody driving to the paint. There was nothing that looked like a viable offense to me. To me anyway, it looked like there was no team chemistry either. So now are you tired or do you just not like it here? So that's going to be the conversation. But you know, I felt like I just saw them give up.
Yeah.
Like last night, because I watched the game at night, but like the Sixers, I felt like they gave up in the third. So, you know, it was that energy. They've just got to figure it out.
Yeah. I think as far as the Clippers go, to George's point, they have to figure out what's going on with Kawhi, his body. We haven't heard anything else about his knee after, you know, the initial reports. Surgery, don't know. But if they bring back a core of Paul George, Kawhi, and Russell Westbrook, if they can all be healthy, that team, and Zubats, that team can do damage in the West, but they have to be serious about it. And the reason I picked them versus the Suns, and they looked like they were going to beat the Suns, and they really could have disrupted the whole playoffs, really, if they did do that and Kawhi didn't get hurt. But if was a fifth. And, you know, it's going to be interesting there. You know, Steve Ballmer, he wants to spend the money. He needs stars to compete in LA, so he can't really blow it up. That's kind of a struggle too. And with their new stadium being built, all of those things kind of run concurrently. So it's going to be interesting.
But that's how let's not forget that's how they won the city, right? I think it starts with winning Los Angeles, and they thought that Lob City era where it was ragtag, bro. Like your linchpin was Chris Paul, the one, and then you had 4 nobodies that were built up around him.
Yeah.
And they ended up being Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, yada, yada, yada. But I think they thought they won the city at that point in time, and they
did for a stretch, because remember, that was when the Lakers had kind of were in like not a wasteland, but they were like kind of figuring it back out.
You want to single-handedly revive that team and make them a championship team, you get Dame Lillard in there.
Ooh.
It's definitely so take Russ out and bring Dame in.
You take Russ out and you bring Dame in.
Yeah, no, listen. Dame has a couple spots he could go.
Knicks, to me, it's Knicks or Clippers. Like those
are the spots.
He single-handedly makes them real contenders.
Yes.
I missed him this playoffs, man.
Yeah.
Playoff Dame was fun to watch.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
so much fun.
That's fair. That's actually really true. Before we get out of the NBA, let's talk about those New York Knicks. Knicks fell on the sword at the end, losing to the Heat. Had a great season, definitely getting to the second round, continuing to get the Garden buzzing. But I think this is probably the end of the road for Julius Randle.
Listen, I believe I've said it here, and I said it on our old podcast. The playoffs will expose frauds. Okay? You can be whoever you think you are in the regular season.
In the regular season, yeah.
Playoffs expose frauds. I said this about Julius Randle 2 years ago when they won the Knicks won their first playoff game since Patrick Ewing, and then you had Knicks fans mobbing the Garden like they just won like 30 titles. And then it was Julius Randle that completely disappeared the rest of the series. You trade Julius Randle. He is not it.
Look, so I guess outside of that, anybody else that goes, I guess, kind of would be in support of that move. But look, Karl Anthony Towns is an option. I would take Karl Anthony Towns as a flip, and then money, obviously. And then I saw something on Bleacher Report that made me jump out of my chair. They're talking about Giannis going to the Knicks for players, picks, because remember the Knicks got like 75 first-round picks. So players, picks, Randall, and other / I don't know, but that would be insane. That would be absolutely
I think insane. A bodega cat has to cut that trade.
It was like, look, it was, and then after it said all that, it was like, not in a million, billion, bajillion years would this move ever happen. But it's like, even the fact that kind of stuff is even starting is interesting. It's definitely something to look at.
Remember when the game changed when LeBron took his talents to South Beach. That was the formal introduction of super team creation.
Yes.
Right?
With young stars.
Yes. And this is going to be really, really interesting. Like, I don't want to hear nothing about Carmelo Anthony. I don't want to hear nothing about Russell Westbrook. Although I hate that he doesn't get his flowers. And just to answer your question, George, I think James Harden is a better player overall than Russell Westbrook. That was something that we were
more dynamic
talking about in our text this morning. But I think some shocking shit's going to happen this off season.
I would not
These
disagree.
Coach firings are shocking.
Yeah.
Monty Williams was the biggest shocker to me, like, overall.
What do you want him to do?
Bro, literally, like,
what do you
he's going to conference championships, finals.
You trade away my whole squad, and then it's like, figure it out. Like, bro, I have nothing. Like,
he's so nice. Like, Monty Williams, man, I feel bad for the guy.
That's all right. He gonna get another job.
Remember, the NBA is a private corporation. They're all private entities. So it's like, you have no people don't have any patience, and I blame social media again for this. It's like there's no let's just plug in the holes. It's nope, I don't care. You got us 2 chips. Bye
Nick Nurse. You brought us our first championship in franchise history.
See ya.
3 years later, you're gone. Like,
Oh no! Before even Nick Nurse, who was the Dwayne Casey won back-to-back Coach of the Year titles.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Hey, see ya. Hey.
Yeah.
Deuces.
What is wrong with the NBA?
Yeah, they don't care. It was, as Eddie Murphy and Janet Jackson once said, "What have you done for me lately?"
Eddie.
To close this out, we're going to talk about some NHL. Another year, another non-Canadian team is going to win. Sadly, both the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers are out of the playoffs. Both had good shots, but the Vegas Golden Knights are going to their 4th conference final appearance in 6 years. And when I wrote this out in the show flow earlier, I thought to myself, they're the greatest expansion franchise of all time.
True.
And I don't but like it's certifiable at this point. Like I didn't really look at it
because you didn't want to, right?
Well, I hate them for sure. That's not a question. Yes, my hate can blind me to things, Rosine. I will not. It's like any kind of hate, racism.
You're comparing your hate to the Knights to racism.
No, but I mean, think about it. Like racist, they're not going to allow
your bias blinds you like to LeBron's greatness.
No. I don't ever debate his greatness. I debate certain aspects of his game that people try to trump up, and it's like, all right, now calm down.
No, but I mean, Mighty Mouse last night. Oof,
man.
Oof. I know.
Marchessault having a natural hat trick in the middle of the game. Not even like, oh, I'm going to have one. No, I'm going to have it all in one period. Really, really great. Good for the Knights. Good for Vegas.
Knights.
And I don't know who's even a threat on the other side because it's the Kraken and the Stars. And I'm like, oh, I'm grasping at straws. Like at least this one was like, all right, Draisaitl, McDavid, I got some help. Like, let's go.
The Kraken.
It's the Kraken and the Stars. Jamie Benn is like 75 years old at this point. So good luck to the Knights, I guess. Before I get off of that, it's disturbing. Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid have now been together for 9 years, literally leading the league and like battling out MVPs between the two of them, and that they have not made it to a Stanley Cup final is criminal. And between them and the Maple Leafs, one of those two teams are going to have to start blowing it up, and that's sad.
Wait, we're going to go over for 1 minute because I have a question for the both of you.
Yeah.
NFL schedules. Are you happy, unhappy with your team schedule? Georgie?
Are you kidding me?
I know.
We got the literal bottom feeders. I cannot wait to play Houston.
You sure?
Bro, you say I'm sure. What do you mean you sure?
Hey,
you sure?
Okay, so
the Saints are in prime position right now.
I love it. And so this is why. So I don't get upset or excited anymore. I get a little bit more worried if, depending on the quarterbacks you're playing. If we've had years where it's like, Jesus Christ, Aaron Rodgers. We got like I'm looking at all these different elite quarterbacks. When you play elite quarterbacks, that's when I get a little bit more nervous. But in terms of teams, the NFL is not the NBA, and it's year to year. Like this team this year was great. Next year, like the Eagles were great this year. What if they have they have a rash of injuries in training camp and preseason, and all of a sudden their season is busted before the season happens? You look at your schedule different. So I don't get into it too much. I more or less look at what are some games I'm gonna go to. So week 2, we're I think that was Seattle. Crap, I don't remember.
So you're apathetic.
Yeah, I get excited for, where I might go.
It's like I literally wait for the schedule like Christmas.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I hate
You were so mad. You were so pissed. And some of our Giant fan, like one of Ronnie, that's my friend, was like,
7 out of 10, the first 7 out of 10 games are away? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Those are the wrinkles.
And we have the third hardest schedule.
Well, our division.
Our division is crazy. So, and it's, and then the first 7 out of 10 games, Not only are, I believe, 3 or 4 of them with division rivals because we kick off against the Cowboys, but 7 out of the first 10 games are away.
Yeah, those are wrinkles I do look for.
Yeah.
Where's the bye week? Like little stuff like that. If the bye week's like week 3, it's like, Christ, that's going to be a long season.
I'm going to say this right now. The Jets are not making the playoffs. How's that?
I love that take.
Ooh.
I love that take.
I don't give a fuck. Aaron Rodgers is even the best quarterback in his division.
Keep going.
He's not. He's not even the best quarterback in his division. Josh Allen is, point blank, period.
He went to take second place at best.
At best, you can give him Sauce. You can give him what's his bucket now that he got to go over for 1 year.
Lazard.
Alan Lazard. It's like, you know what? Have fun. You think Saleh is going to be able to control the egomaniac that Aaron Rodgers is? You know what? They are not going to make the playoffs. They may not even be number 2 in their division. Okay, we'll just watch and see. What's funny? All the Jets fans, they're secretly nervous. None of them will admit it openly, though.
Oh yeah. I think the Jets are going to make the playoffs. I do not think they're going to win the division, but I do think they'll make the playoffs. I think 3 teams between their division and then also the AFC North. Both of them will have
the
AFC
2. Period is frightening. Okay,
the AFC's solid. It is.
And with the NFC, I think our division. I mean, you guys balance this out. We're getting better. The Cowboys, they're always going to do Cowboys things. I'm not even like
it is what it is. They're going to be good, but
Philly, their coordinators are brand new, so we'll see how that's going to mesh. But listen, I mean, they're a force to be contended with. But so it's like, I think of the AFC, right now, they're the most frightening overall. Yeah. And I think about quarterback strength, then we're going to chop it down to divisions. Yeah, he's not even the best in his division. He hasn't done dick in how long. And then you want to compete in the same, not only conference, but division as Josh Allen. Okay, good luck.
Shoot. The Bengals, the Chiefs, like there's some dogs in the AFC. There's some straight. There's
a target on their back
too. There's some dogs in the AFC.
I didn't even think about that, George, but you're right. They have such a huge target on it because the Jets do.
The Jets.
Because everybody wants to make an example out of them. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I will say the Jets had games last year, like the game versus the Patriots where no one could move the ball. Like the Jets had games where it's like if they had more competent quarterback play, they could have won 10 to 12 games. So
Joe Burrow can run circles around Aaron Rodgers. I'm not taking anything away from Aaron Rodgers is like what he's capable of because he is a fantasy football Hall of Fame king hero.
Get him.
But I will tell you, Pat Mahomes is only going to get better for the next 3 to 5 years. I'm going to tell you, Joe Burrow is only going to get better in the next 3 to 5 years. Josh Allen, where if he stayed where he is, he's better than Aaron Rodgers. Okay? So I cannot wait to see this experiment. People think Saleh's going to have any say in what this man does. This is the man that used to change calls in the middle of huddles when McCarthy was his coach.
Willie Beeman. I don't like that play. I got a better play.
He was Willie Beeman. Okay, but he didn't win. And then Matt LaFleur. This poor guy had Matt LaFleur like he shaking so hard that his side part like started to come undone. It was like, good luck with this team.
I'm so done. We did not have NFL in the show flow, but Ro found a way. And
the schedule came out.
It was good. It was good. We got a couple clips out of that, Ro. Good job. Good job. I love it. No, I did forget about the schedule coming out. But to close out, the President Cup curse is the President Cup Is the President Cup trophy the worst trophy in professional sports, Ro?
No, I think it's the Madden cover curse.
You think the Madden cover curse is worse?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. So the President Cup, right? So the Boston Bruins had the greatest regular season in NHL history, not just like a good year. They had the greatest year ever. 65 wins, 135 points before flaming out to the 8th seed Florida Panthers. only 3 times in the last 22 years, 2 of them being the Detroit Red Wings, has a team actually won the President's Cup and then won the Stanley Cup title.
I think that's a great poll question, actually. Which is the worst curse, the President's Cup curse or the Madden cover curse?
That was actually solid.
Right?
Well, I will say, though, when Lamar was the cover boy, Lamar won MVP that year.
Okay, but that's once.
Yeah,
Dak.
Dak's never been on the cover.
Yes, he has.
No.
I think he has.
No, not at all.
Okay, I know the year that Odell was.
Matt.
He.
You know, I got you on Matt.
I know, my bad.
Not at all. Dak, not Dak.
Odell. Saquon.
Yeah. No, Saquon
was, no?
Never.
I think, no? Are you sure?
I promise.
All right, because there's
running backs. There's only been
Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis,
that's
Marshall
true.
Falk.
Who?
Marshall
Falk?
Marshall Falk.
Who's he?
David Falk's son.
Peterson.
AP was on it.
Let's see, Madden cover curse.
Chris Johnson.
No, never.
Chris Johnson.
No.
Early. I'm talking 2008, maybe.
No.
Okay.
It's mostly quarterbacks. So Brady's been on there. Patrick Mahomes has been on there.
Did you say Peyton Hillis?
Yeah, you
Peyton,
did.
yes.
You did. Patrick Mahomes has been on there.
Garrison Hurst, Barry Sanders, Dorsey Levens.
No, none of these people have
Eddie
been
George.
on the cover. Eddie George has been on the cover.
Dante Culpepper.
Dante was on the cover.
Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis.
That's
Donovan McNabb. Sean Alexander.
bad year. Sean Alexander was on the cover. He had a decent year though. Like it was really
I will send you a complete history, but we'll take it to task. Let the fans vote on it.
All right. I'll make sure to come up with a good picture for that. So
that'd be fun. That's actually like
it's a solid curse. Those are 2 curses.
I never want Daniel Jones to be on the cover of Madden.
What are some? Oh, that's actually a good question. Like, what are some good curses? Like, you know what I mean? Curse of the Billy Goat versus Curse of the Bambino.
Oh, the Curse of the Bambino, yeah.
Like there's some good curses out there that you could talk about as far as fans and have them debate. Oh, that's another segment we found organically. I like it. All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the American Fan 365. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe. And also be sure to check us out on our podcast on George's Apple TV. It's
Apple wherever you guys normally listen to your audio podcasts, listen to it. Spotify, you can actually watch it just like how you watch it here on YouTube. Highly recommend the Joe Rogan style. Only the best here for Josh and Roe and the American fans. Apple Podcast. I want to see those numbies start to pop. All you Apple users, iOS, subscribe. And then it'll automatically download to your phone.
Yes, please. That would really do us a huge solid. We're looking to grow, and you guys have been so awesome. And if you can help us by sharing us with your friends, not us, but not Georgie, but like our podcast, and have them download it or just take a listen, we would love you for it. But thank you for tuning in, and we missed you.